Hi everyone, Dr. Robinson with Synergy Chiropractic. Today I'm talking about autoimmune disease, and if this is something that you really struggle with, you are definitely going to want to watch the rest of this video. Now let's just start with the basics. So autoimmune disease is any condition in which the immune system attacks itself, right? It attacks healthy cells, healthy tissues, healthy organs. And some common diseases that fall into this autoimmune category include conditions like lupus, psoriasis, diabetes, type 1 diabetes, thyroid diseases like Hashimoto's and Graves' disease. It also includes issues like celiac disorder, irritable bowel disease, and endometriosis and PCOS, just to name a few. Now, autoimmune diseases tend to affect women more than men. And it's also pretty common to have several autoimmune disorders at the same time. Now, how this happens is we develop one and we don't really ever find the root cause. We just keep treating the symptoms, and it just kind of has this vicious cycle and it makes everything worse, and we develop more autoimmune disorders. Now, conventional medicine is all about treating symptoms, okay? It's about getting a diagnosis so you can, put someone on a treatment plan and just basically manage the symptoms. And this is just such backwards thinking because it doesn't investigate and find the root cause. Okay, so let's talk about the root cause of autoimmune disease. Now, there are 3 factors that are required for autoimmune disease to develop. And these are, number 1, genetic predisposition, right? So the genes that you're born with, that your parents handed down to you, you just happen to be more prone to developing autoimmune disease. Now, the second factor is being exposed to triggers that turn on those genes. And these triggers could be things like food, like if you think about how gluten is a huge trigger for a lot of people. It could be things like chemicals, toxins, infections, inflammation in the body, basically anything foreign that the body is exposed to that it reacts to. Now, the third factor that must be present is intestinal permeability. And this is just the degree to which substances can pass through the lining of the intestines. Now, with continued exposure to triggers, that damages the intestines. And then things that aren't supposed to get into the bloodstream end up getting in. Okay, so 3 factors, right? And you need to have all 3 in order to develop autoimmune disease. Let's look at these factors. Now, number 1, genetics. Obviously, there's nothing we can do about that. But thankfully, with a lot of health issues, genetics just plays a very small role. The rest of it is the environment that we surround ourselves with, okay? So what are you going to do about it? How are you going to change your environment to, reverse or improve your symptoms? So number 2 and number 3 are the ones that we can readily influence. Number 2 was triggers, and number 3 was intestinal permeability. Now, with triggers, if we can figure out what they are and we can remove them, then we should see improvement. So how do we do that? Well, we can use functional lab testing to identify these triggers, these foods, these chemicals, these toxins, molds, might even be vitamin or mineral deficiencies, and we can reverse those triggers. Now, the second one, or the third factor rather, the intestinal permeability, we can fix that too. If we figure out, we can do an elimination diet to remove, triggers. We also want to heal the intestinal lining with natural medicine. We want to eliminate any toxins or substances or infections, and then recolonize the intestines with probiotics. Now, this method This is true root cause medicine. This is functional medicine. Notice that I am not saying that autoimmune disease is just all in your head. I'm not saying that this is just something that you inherited. And I'm also not saying that this is something that you just need to take medications for the rest of your life and hope and pray that it doesn't get worse. Okay? There is something that you can do about it. If you have any questions, please send me a message. I would be happy to talk with you more about it. Thank you so much for watching and have a fantastic day.